자막, 서브타이틀의 장벽도 아니죠. 한 1인치 정도 되는 그 장벽을 뛰어넘으면 여러분들이 훨씬 더 많은 영화를 즐길 수 있습니다.
Once you overcome the 1-inch tall barrier of subtitles, you will be introduced to so many more amazing films.
You know, I always tend to make a video in the early quarter of the year to talk about some of the exciting upcoming Indian movie projects that everyone should look forward to. While I can look back at some of my upcoming movies of 2020 video before the pandemic and laugh at my inability to predict the future, I cannot possibly make a video talking about projects that excite me in 2021 for the sheer unpredictability of when what is going to come out in the future. I think it was more interesting to tell you about a trend that all of you are privy to and our personal responsibility as viewers if we want some kind of change. The reason for me putting Bong Joon-ho's statement at the start of the video was because we often limit ourselves as viewers, making the language barrier this monstrosity that cannot be overcome. I think the digital age has allowed us to be Indians rather than what has segregated us for years, both geographically and through language. Simply put, commercial Bollywood producers have identified that the name of the game for guaranteed financial success is remake of regional cinema. The digital space has allowed us to watch these gems before the Hindi film industry takes all credit for it. So it's my duty to tell you about these films, recommend them immensely for a variety of reasons so that we can give credit where it is due before their Hindi releases and the obvious outcome of box office success takes everything away. So here is Tried&Refused Productions with 10 Indian films you should watch before Bollywood remakes take all the credit. Jersey. This is straight coming from a Shahid Kapoor fan, so bear in mind before the stands come for me that I love the man and the performances that he puts out. The monstrous success of Kabir Singh built up the pressure of what would be the man's creative choice in the future. Keeping it safe, Shahid chose the earnest and beautiful story of Jersey. For whosoever is living under a rock, Jersey is a Telugu film starring Nani and Shraddha Srinath that you can watch on Disney Plus Hotstar. While its Goldmine's Hindi dubbed version is available for free on YouTube, I would highly recommend the Telugu version for the intended impact.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of people, I wish all of that 60 million people watch the Telugu version with the subtitle. The reason is not because I am not saying that they shouldn't watch it in Hindi, because they have, whoever has taken the rights of Jersey for the dubbing, have chopped the film left, right, and center, and they open with the climax scene. They re-edited it.
From a celebrated cricketer expected to make a name for himself on the national scale to a husband and father who, despite his love for his family, cannot understand what can make him wake up every morning and live. Heartfelt and beautifully performed, especially by Nani, you have to catch this film if you haven't already. Mulshi Pattern. A lot of subscribers from Maharashtra were recommending me to watch the 2018 film Mulshi Pattern, and my god was it truly worth it. This Marathi film focuses on the plight of farmers as they sell their lands to builders, only to transition to take up blue-collar jobs around corporate buildings set up on their once owned land. A reality of the Mulshi Tehsil of Maharashtra, the movie sheds light on the degradation of the quality of life for the farmer due to urbanization, development, and commercialization. The invasive ways of capitalism to lure simple-minded folk, leading to a sense of resentment and aimlessness within the agro-based economy. The movie, through the character of Rahul, who indulges in crime and extortion and dislikes his father for his sorry state, sheds light on a journey devoid of love and stability, full of power, influence, only to understand in retrospect we became something we never intended to become. A chilling performance by Om Bhutkar, gritty and real in so many ways, this film is being remade with Salman Khan and his brother-in-law Ayush Sharma. Titled Antim, directed by Mahesh Manjrekar. Trust me, watch the original one. You won't regret it. Ayyappanum Koshiyum. My experience with Malayalam films also have more or less been eclectic pieces of storytelling. When I was exploring what commercial Malayalam cinema had to offer, I was blown away by the Prithviraj starrer Ayyappanum Koshiyum, directed by the late Sachi. The film is a brilliant take on the socio-political structure of the country, but more than that, it is such a riveting tale on masculinity and how generations of expectations shape us as men. A film close to 3 hours long seemed to progress like a breeze, and the meticulous technique of the creator is to make it dialogue heavy, yet never come across as dragged or lackluster. An honest police officer versus a privileged spoiled brat may seem simple on paper, but the detailing in its screenplay and the ability of it to keep you invested is something to marvel at. The film's rights have been acquired by John Abraham, where they will try to capitalize the same two-hero go head-to-head model that has otherwise been so successful. You need to catch this one on Amazon Prime Video. Diya. The most surprising movie experience for me was when I saw the Kannada film Diya on Amazon Prime. A film that comes across as a generic love story has a sense of madness and intensity that all viewers want, especially fans of this genre, where we mostly see men ogle at women, chasing them for their attention. The narrative is completely led by the female character in this film, her obsession with the man and how it persists for several years ahead. The film and how it goes from 0 to 100 and still is believable every step of the way is its best quality. It's effortlessly funny, even in the most morbid sense, and is definitely an extremely offbeat romantic genre experience. I was literally wondering how far the creators can take this storyline. This film was the perfect example of squashing the preconceived notions of the limitations of the romance genre. The film will be remade with the same director and will also star Prithvi Ambar, who is in the original as well. It will be interesting to see who they finalize for the two main leads for this rather wacky and immersive love story. Maanagaram. I remember immediately checking out Lokesh Kanagaraj's filmography after watching Kaithi and checking out Maanagaram on Amazon Prime Video. There is an unabashed, larger-than-life quality to his films that make me so invested despite the gritty or horrible circumstances that may be showcased in the storyline. Following a drastic turn of events that take place all due to a mistaken identity, Maanagaram will take you through a whirlwind of a journey many would not expect. Channelizing the staple Kanagaraj energy of morbid humor, gruesome beatings, and intense emotions, this film is being remade in Hindi and will be directed by Santosh Sivan. The film will star actors like Vikrant Massey and surprisingly, Vijay Sethupathi in his Bollywood debut and is titled Mumbaikar. You have to watch Maanagaram, however, on Amazon Prime Video first. Helen. When I saw Helen on Amazon Prime Video, my respect for Anna Ben as an artist grew tenfold. The film focuses on a nursing graduate, Helen, who attends IELTS coaching classes with the hope of getting a job abroad. How she coincidentally gets locked in an industrial freezer of her part-time job and a concerned father, boyfriend and search team find Helen is the premise of this movie. More than it just being a survival story, the movie encapsulates several facets of human nature. From conservatism when it comes to religion, a basic sense of humanity as people are helpless, and most importantly, truly how resilient is the human spirit. The film will be remade in Hindi and it's reported that it will be produced by Z Studios and Boni Kapoor and will be directed by Mathukutti Xavier, who directed the original. Anna Ben's role will be played by Janvi Kapoor and it is reported that Manoj Pava will play her father. Needless to say, if this falls through, Anna Ben's role are some huge shoes to fill for Janvi as an actor. Vikram Vedha. We get very few films where there is a delicious premise between two characters that psychologically challenge one another. While the trope of the honorable man and the grey antagonist has been utilized many times, the reason why I fell in love with the 2017 Tamil thriller Vikram Vedha was a combination of a lot of things, which include its layered screenplay and the performances of the two leads, especially Vijay Sethupathi. The chemistry channelized between the main characters and the development of the storyline is influenced by the stories of Vikram and Betal. Convoluted in the best way possible, and credit goes to the exemplary writing of the film and Sethupathi's magnetic presence that I can't speak enough about. No wonder there is a Hindi remake on the cards. As it is reported that Amir Khan has walked out of the project of the Hindi remake, there is speculation that Saif Ali Khan as the cop may have Hrithik Roshan as the gangster to go up against in the Hindi remake, which makes me rather excited of how the project will transpire. But you have to watch the original first on Disney Plus Hotstar. Kaithi. Another Lokesh Kanagaraj film is on the list, a power-packed action thriller from Tamil Nadu, a film that left me glued to my computer screen, an ex-prisoner being promised a reunion with his daughter in exchange for helping out police officers, and in that journey comes across several gangs not knowing the complexity of the drug racket and the sheer influence of the drug lords, just having one goal in mind, annihilating everything in his way. Karthi's stoic presence, Arjun Das's baritone dialogue delivery, and a Lokesh Kanagaraj mass classic. It is a gory commercial thriller at its finest. Simple yet effective storytelling, which will be remade in Hindi and Ajay Devgan will be playing the lead role. This is, by the way, Ajay Devgan's 10th remake and we all know it's been a successful track record till now. Vaikunthapurramuloo. The most financially successful Telugu film after the Bahubali franchise was this commercial Allu Arjun starrer. When I talk about commercial Telugu cinema, I speak about them in context to two things. That first of all, these are multi-genre films which have comedy, romance and action sequences, something that if you're only imbibing Hindi cinema, you may find rather odd, and secondly, that this genre is not for everyone. But there are only a few actors who can pull off a madcap commercial comedy, and that too on a humongous scale. Allu Arjun with this film completely hit it out of the park. The comedy of errors in Bantu's life was loved by the masses, and this film amassed close to 262 crores worldwide. It is reported that a Hindi remake will be produced by the same makers but will be roping in Rohit Dhawan as the director and Kartik Aaryan would be playing the lead in the film. While this has not been finalized, I fear that Kartik's appearances in already successful franchises like Dostana and Bhool Bhulaiya will lead to a sense of exhaustion with fans. Beyond that, the pressure to live up to a film that was so successful might be detrimental to the financial performance of the remake.
Can't see anyone else playing that part. So it's an enjoyable film. But I don't know whether I'm doing it or not. मैं तो इस प्रोजेक्ट को हंट कर रहा हूँ, मैं इस फिल्म को हंट कर रहा हूँ. जब से मैंने फिल्म देखी है, I really feel कि I fit the bill.
While nothing has been confirmed and everything has been delayed due to the pandemic, honest to God, barring some socially problematic sequences, it's a commercial masala film available on Netflix that you should watch if you want to have precisely that experience. Dear Comrade. This is one of the most interesting cases in films that I have seen in recent years. A film that focuses on the love that blossoms between Bobby and Lily, a college student in politics who gets constantly involved in scuffles, falls in love with a district cricket player with the aspirations of joining the Indian cricket team. A movie about goals, mending your destructive ways, and fighting for what is morally right, irrespective of the unwanted attention that would come with it. Dear Comrade was an important film that contributed in many ways to shed light on individuals abusing positions of power. A film that has many polarizing reactions, some loving it and some hating it entirely. I feel if only the film would have been a crisper edit, removing some of the hero worship action sequences, I generally feel this movie would have created more waves. The rights of the film have been purchased for a Hindi remake by Karan Johar, and maybe people will start raving about how important the film and its messaging is as the remake releases. That will be quite ironic. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what are the movies that you want people to watch before their remakes come out. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.